What's up, folks? Saturday, May 18th, it's 9 p.m. So we kind of asked around today. Almost on the verge of saying, we'll just call it off for the day. But hey, fuck it. We're going to come out here. We're going to do a little something. Like I said, I had some stuff to do earlier today, and plus it was raining a lot earlier. And then Tyson Fury versus Usyk, that fight came on, and since they're in Saudi Arabia, it kind of came on in the middle of the day, so I kind of got stuck watching that, and it just not too long ago went off, so whatever, but as you can see, I see my window over there, it's dark outside. This ain't gonna be like a real big serious workout or nothing like that. I'm gonna just come out here and get a little work, try to get a little pump, just somewhat of a pump, probably ain't gonna do no abs. I think I'm gonna carry my little bench inside, and maybe I'll do some sit-ups or something, later on, and tonight or maybe tomorrow or something. But also just kind of swapped it around, did the talking here at the beginning of the video. So once I do feel like I've done my last little set, that might be it, unless I, throughout the workout, feel like I think of something that I need to talk about or whatever. But just gonna hang out here for a little bit, man. Do a little lifting, nothing really too serious. I think I'm gonna listen to some podcasts, tonight, this evening. But also, I guess I'll show you this while we're here. Alright, don't swap around. Okay, that's fine. Alright, I'll get up and walk. Let me swap you around. Stop the video. Okay, so I told y'all I had a little nest in here with some eggs in it. So I was out today doing a little shopping. I found this thing here. If you can see that, it's like a little little shit for birds to eat or whatever. But I don't want to get too close and really spook her or nothing. But I don't know if you can see in there. I don't know if you can really see that, but I don't know. Maybe you can see. Yeah, you can kind of see her eyes right there. She's kind of looking right at the camera. Yeah, Mama Bird is in there right now. Look at this jackass up here. It's just a fucking June bug just flying around. Idiot. But yeah, so maybe I get a little thing of water or something, a little cap full of water or some shit, put it up there. But yeah, I thought, here's your I put a little something up there, some nice little cake thing of bird, supposedly there's, birds love all the kind of different little shits that birds love, all kind of, compacted into like a little thing for them to eat or whatever. So, maybe that'll help her understand that she's safe here and she can, raise her little baby birds and I ain't gonna bother them. But whatever. I don't reckon there's too much else really to talk about. Let's just kind of get it started, do a little lifting, listen to a little podcast, radio, whatever. But yeah, let's get it started, buddy.
Just a great big party with tons and tons of fireworks. He really makes it a happy place for the kids. But anyway, so we're gonna go and check that out tonight. And I hope everybody finds some fun in their weekend. Oh, and one more thing. I had already recorded the reading of today's video, and unfortunately, I was calling it part 5 instead of part 6. So just so you're aware, in case you're sitting there scratching your head saying, what is she talking about? Okay, enough of the jibber jabber. Let's get to the video. So I appreciate that everyone has waited patiently for me to do part 5 of 15 years worth. So, without further ado, let's get to the video. Hello again, Leslie and Croutons. I hope all is doing well. Around 2010, Mama asked how many hairless humans I knew that had experiences with her kind. I told her only a few, and that I don't like being around people due to the hurt that I had acquired. She then said, "You must help others who are still fearing and doubting." I wasn't sure what she meant, and I asked. She said, "You hairless ones need to learn about yourselves and things that you can do, but with fear and doubt, you won't. Fear and doubt move to the tall mountains when the sun is hot, and down there when it's cold." I asked, "Do you know how to find water in the desert?" With her upper lip slightly curled, her eyes glistened, she said, "Water is not hard to find. There are many waters that come from below. Some of your kind know where and keep these places hidden from others. My understanding was there are springs in the desert, and the Sasquatch know where they are." I then began asking about the structure of her people and if the males are females. She said, "We are all the same. We just know different things, and it's the females that keep her people growing. Males have responsibilities and are the ones seen most of the time. They hunt and keep watch. They also teach the children how to do those things and how to see danger. But the children, when they're young, stay with the mother until it's about 5 or 6 years old, near time." I told her that some humans think that males are in charge, like the heads of their people. She made a sound like a cross between a grunt and a grumble. "The males are no more important than the females. We just have different things to do. It has always been this way. The females choose when to have the baby, and if the male can take more of our kind." I did. Hi guys, welcome to Crickets Canada. I hope everyone's having a great day. So I apologize for not uploading a video yesterday. I ended up at the walk-in clinic again because I cut my leg really bad. I definitely needed stitches. But they told me the doctor doesn't do stitches. He said he would assess it, and if I needed stitches, he would send me to a nurse. And I said to the woman, "Well, why should I even stop at here then? I should just go to lunch," which was a 9-hour wait. She says, "Well, he may tell you that you don't need stitches." I already knew I needed stitches, but I didn't really want to get the stitches, and it was really just there to placate my kids. I have totally traded places with my kids, and I now have 3 or 4 mothers who are way too overly protective of me. It was my son who was chosen to drive me because they didn't let me drive when I'm injured. He is the best doctor out of all my kids. So it was only a few weeks until the cabin was cleaned and repaired enough for us to actually live inside of it while we were completing the build and prepare the land for a garden. At that point, after we had already moved into the cabin, one of the families who had started helping us from the beginning worked out a deal with my parents to move into the motorhome with their kids to keep helping us. They were quite poor and struggling to make ends meet and found it difficult to travel every day from their home to the homestead. So this was a good solution. Their names were Betty and Richard. They had a daughter named Lucy, who was my age at 13, and a baby brother who was named Remy, and he was 3. So one night, my sister and I were invited to sleep in the camper for a fun night. The fathers had taken our truck to town for materials. They had still not arrived home after dinner when we went to the camper. Betty was going to make a fire for us to do marshmallows or s'mores and tell ghost stories. We were already in our pajamas and getting ready to go out and start the fire when my mother came and knocked on the camper door. I overheard her telling Betty that she was very worried because the husbands were wounded. So they connived and decided to take Betty's trip to town to look for them. We didn't have cell service back then. Hadn't had landlines, so she saw. My mother was freaking out that something like this could not exist. Then we watched it stand at the door and start rocking it back and forth like it wanted to turn the whole motorhome on its side, just like the time before. But actually watching it and seeing the strength that it had to have to actually move that trailer back and forth. This thing was solid muscle, and it was extremely tall. That was it. My mother kept saying, "Oh my God, we've got to get out of here." The next day, we threw our clothes and our best toys in green garbage bags, and we drove to Betty and Richard's. We stayed with them until our grandmother sent the money for us to fly back to her house in West Virginia. My mom forced my dad. He tried to give her the cab and the trailer to shut them. Leaving a few snacks locked in my rental car and taking only water to drink, I walked the less than a quarter mile down the curvy trail with my tripod over one shoulder, my camera backpack on, and bear spray on one hip, with a bear horn looped on my other hip. I passed trees and bushes to get to the spot that I wanted, which had a clear, open view across the lake, across the road, and to the mountain reflected in the lake to the east. There were a few other people around, taking in the rays of pure gold that lit up the snow-capped mountains before the last of the sunlight faded. I had set up my camera and tripod near the edge of the lake, with the trail back behind me, perpendicular to my position. I was jubilant about the tremendous beauty before me. I had been periodically blasting my bear horn, as it was too dark to see my hand in front of my face, except with my headlamp on, and I was in no frame of mind to deal with anything else. Highly annoyed when clouds started rolling in, but relieved that I could leave. I packed up by the light of my headlamp and nearly ran back to the car. I felt the most vulnerable right before I reached it, but I finally felt totally safe once I was inside, with the doors locked. I was driving a rental car that had odd headlights. Their light shone in a distinct long rectangle, but did not illuminate anything beyond it. A minute or two after I had turned the car around and it started going, I was approaching a dip in the road with a steepish hill. So, today's video took place in a small town called Lee's Lick, Kentucky, many, many years ago. Hello. I have always wanted to tell you about our family's history with Bigfoot, but I only had a cell phone and couldn't imagine typing it all out on my cell. It's honestly like a soap opera. So I received a tablet for free with my internet plan, and I thought, yippee! I can tell Leslie and all the croutons what I've been hoarding in my brain storage all these years. My only concern is not telling it in order that it actually belongs in, but I will try. Unfortunately, I was deceived, and all the beautiful cedar chests and jars were lost to scammers. So I think it's best to give some background detail so I can set a timeline. The old cedar chests were made to look like treasure chests, so to little kids it was magical. But we discovered our family history was shocking, to say the least, or what we could understand of it. We would sneak into that section of the attic and read journals from a woman named Mercy. Then we got caught when Uncle Albert heard us in there and told us to skedaddle. It wasn't that we couldn't go in there, it was just that the entrance wasn't accessible, mainly because it was in his closet. So we just put what we read in the storage part of our brains and got on with our lives. Then, in 1979, Aunt Becky Alice got married, and we all went back home to celebrate. One night, I asked Aunt Becky Alice about the woman in the journals named Mercy course, she was expected to dress as usual. Her favorite pastimes were writing, painting, and riding her horse. She started riding her horse down to the creek that ran through their property several times a day if possible, to strip down to nothing to cool her body in the creek. She was convinced that the water had medicinal powers to help relieve the terrible feeling from her condition. One day she took a quick look around and stripped off her clothes. Then she laid in her self-made pool. She felt as if she were being watched, so she sat up and looked around. Everything looked fine, but she still felt odd. So she hurried her soap along and went back to her bedsit, as she called it. This Indian boy who worked with her farrier, except her new friend was covered in long dark hair all over his body, and he had an odor like that of a man who worked all day in the hot sun, but it wasn't unbearable to be around. His nose was long and flat, and his lips were very full and wide. He had exceptionally long, narrow feet and long, narrow fingers. She described herself as almost giddy by his company, and she got excited and splashed him a little. She felt like she scared him off because he got up and left. She felt so bad, she called after him, but he wouldn't come back. She went back later that day, several times a day for a week, and still she didn't see him. The heifer was terrified of Barry. It wasn't just a temper tantrum for attention. The reared up, and Marcy jumped away. Barry gave Hemper a hard punch across his neck, and Mercy yelled at Barry, and that was the last straw. She threw the sack as hard as she could, and she untied Hemper and slapped him hard on the rump, and he took off running towards home. Then Mercy looked at Barry one more time and took off running till she got home as well. Barry did not give chase. Mercy was sad because she missed the early friendship, but she tried to figure out where she went wrong. She decided to give her visits to the creek a big break. And it was about a week later, she started hearing loud screams echoing through the hills. Hi guys, welcome to Cryptids Canada. I hope everybody's having a great day. So I apologize for not putting a video up last night. I have been busy trying to put together an hour-long video for you guys. I've been meaning to do it for a long time. So finally I've done it. So let's just cut out the jibber-jabber and get right to the video. Episode 2. Back in the early 80s, I was dating my high school sweetheart. We were in grade 12 and looking forward to graduating. Now, looking back, we actually believed we were going to get married and have kids. We spent every moment together. If we worked at school, we were at his house or mine, covered his ears and screamed even louder. Jeff moved the car forward while still holding the horn down. We couldn't move forward any longer. We started to reverse. We were surprised that nothing stopped us, so Jeff just crammed his foot down as hard as he could, and we backed up until we were at the road. The Bigfoot was standing by the river. We had let the horn go, and it was no longer holding his ears or roaring. It actually looked like it had an evil grin on its face, as if it was going to get even with us for blowing the horn. Once we got the car in drive and started quickly down the dirt road, we felt like we were safe and out of the woods. We were astounded that we had just really experienced a Bigfoot, a bad experience with a Bigfoot. But relief was the key word because we actually survived when we thought we were going to die. I asked Jeff to slow down a little.
Alright, y'all, it's gonna be it. Like I said, nothing too fancy. Did some chest work. A lot of dumbbell incline, a lot of sets. Felt pretty good. Got a good little sweat. I ain't talking too much. That's it, y'all. See you back. Plan on seeing you back Tuesday. Again, it's it for DadBod Saturday, signing out. Y'all enjoy your weekend. Till I see you again, take it easy.